Well, I don't have the details, but I've got everyone here that have the details. The 6th Open Book Festival takes place. That's from the 7th tomorrow until the 11th of September. And also, as always, there's something for everyone. And here to tell us more, our festival director, Merwyn Sloman. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks very much for having me.
I just had a look at the program. I want to attend. I want to be there. We've got a lot of youngsters watching this morning that want to know more of this. But more and more now, especially with the 6th Open Book Festival, I look at this and I realize that you're able to showcase diversity each year.
Absolutely. I mean, for those who aren't familiar with the festival, as you said, it runs over 5 days. We do about 120 events over those 5 days. And each of those events, most of them are an hour long. And there can be a discussion about fiction, non-fiction, readings, poetry performances, all sorts of different things. We have writers from all around the world joining us, and of course the cream of South African writers from all over the country, and there are some fantastic South African writers doing stuff at the moment. And for the little kids, over the weekend, over the Saturday and Sunday, we have a whole series of story times featuring both some international kids authors as well as locals. And that's all about building a love of reading amongst kids, because anybody who takes reading seriously, you've got to work with the kids, you've got to get them reading.
It's so exciting when you talk about children's authors, because at the moment my favorite books are children's books because I read to my daughter. But more about that later. I mean, South Africa is one of the places, well, I think we want to read more. You know, more and more we're saying to our children even, stop watching TV, you know, here's a book. What do you aim to achieve with Open Book Festival?
It's a platform for looking at books that have been published over the last year or so. It's a space in which people can engage with writers, as I say, from all around the world, as well as witnessing and participating in discussions between international and South African writers. And that, for me, is sometimes the most exciting thing, to see some of those interactions, because they become very surprising conversations and interesting conversations. Part of the festival is also about having some fun and building the idea that books and authors can be incredibly entertaining as well. For example, we have a wonderful event which we do every year called Writer Sports. Well, we think it's wonderful. I'm not sure if the writers think it's that wonderful, but where we get them to write live on stage and really put them through their paces. And it is absolutely fun.
Listen, talking about the fun, 100 events crammed into 5 days. You just mentioned it, more than 120 things that's going down. Is that enough for us to experience the workshop, the talks, even the exciting weekend events where our children can attend?
In some ways, it would be nicer to drag it out over 10 days and do a little bit less each day. But after 5 days, we're all kind of dead. So that's the way it is. And people have to choose which event they want to go to at different times. And there are a lot of difficult choices to be made, but that is the nature of a festival like this. It also enables us to have writers, both internationally and South African, to be here for the whole festival and to engage with different people during the time. So that is why we cram everything into 5 days.
I also like how you say it's over 5 days, so I wouldn't just go on the 5th day. You kind of have to start tomorrow. And those dates again, from tomorrow until the 11th of September at the Fugard Theatre. I reckon schools should get involved too. I mean, you talk about our love for reading. It's so exciting. I mean, as a show director, the 6th one, what are you looking forward to most? Surely you know the program.
I do know the program. We've got a lot of fantastic things coming up. It's difficult to highlight individual events. People can have a look at the program on our website, which is openbookfestival.co.za. Maybe in a very selfish way, let me mention one event that I'm participating in, which I'm really looking forward to, which is something we also do every year called Talking Turkey, where I have an informal discussion with 3 writers. And this year it's Bongani Madondo, Nakane Ture and Nikum Mhlongo, who are all fantastic writers from up country who are coming down for the festival. And it's an event which is not an in-depth look at any of the books that they've written, but an informal discussion in which we get to talk a little bit about their work, about them as writers, and about what's going on in the country. And actually, I don't know where the conversation will go, and that's the exciting part.
Now, listen, it is exciting, and as books, I mean, it just takes your imagination even further and further. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, you heard it, the program is live online as well. Open Book Festival. As jy 'n boek wat is, maak seker dat jy maak jou weg. Dis van môre af tot die 11de September, the Fugard Theatre, District 6 Homecoming Centre, and the Book Lounge. And you heard it, Merwyn said it all. You have to be there. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. More coming up, and it seems like we're traveling.
Only you can make my day.